Hello, how are you? Today, inshallah, we will start with chapter 20, viruses, lesson 1, virus structure and function. Let's start with the discovery of the viruses. Scientists were looking for the cause of the disease that was infecting tobacco plants. So, for the tobacco plant disease, we need to discover the causative agent that will cause the disease for the tobacco plants. So, they defined an experiment. The experiment were filter a solution that causes the disease through a small filter that bacteria cannot get through. So they need to know if the causative agent or the disease causing structure is bacteria or not. Then the filtered solution can still infect the tobacco plant. So they discovered that the bacteria is not the causative agent for the disease of the tobacco plant. Then the disease was caused by something smaller than bacteria, which they then call it virus. This is the tobacco mosaic virus. The tobacco mosaic virus is made up from DNA and proteins. In 1935, Wendell Stanley discovered the structure of the virus and proved that they are not a living organism. So the viruses are not living organism. And he got the Nobel Prize for his virus work. So let's start with the virus structure, or what is a virus. So a virus is a complex submicroscopic organic particle. The size almost 20 nanometer, have carbon and not cellular. There is no cell parts and do not carry out life functions on their own. So they need to reproduce only inside a living cell, what we call it host cell. Parasitic, so the relation between the virus and the host is a parasitic relationship because it lives off others, disrupt the lives of the cells they invade, and found in air, soil, and water. This is the structure of the virus. As you can see here, this is the capsid, and this is the nucleic acid. The nucleic acid is either DNA or RNA. This is the tail, and this is the filaments. So the viruses are made up of a nucleic acid surrounded by proteins in the capsid, tail, and filaments. This is the influenza virus as an example. Another example is smallpox here. This is the smallpox virus. This is the bacteriophage virus. This is the structure of the bacteriophage. The bacteriophage, this is a virus that infects the bacteria, okay? Inside here, we have the DNA or RNA, which is the genetic material, and it's surrounded by the proteins. This is the Ebola virus. This is the Ebola virus here. This is the West Nile virus, HIV virus that causes AIDS, hepatitis C virus, and let's start with the structure of the virus. Again, the virus is a particle made up of a nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA. The DNA or the RNA in the core, and we have an outer protein coat which called as a capsid. So again, nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA core, and it's filled up by protein coat. Some viruses also have an extra outer layer called envelope for the protection of. Let's start with the rule of the viruses. What's the rule of the viruses? Most of the viruses are pathogenic. What we mean by pathogenic? Pathogenic is disease-causing agent, like smallpox, chickenpox, ulcers, warts, AIDS, rapes, mumps, flu, measles, and some forms of cancers and the common cold are caused by viruses. Not all the common cold is caused by the viruses, some of it, okay? How does the body handle the viruses? How the body handle the viruses? It's the job of the immune system to fight diseases in the body. So there is a protection by the immune system against viruses. The first immune system in our body is the skin. So the skin is one of the most important organs in the immune system because it keeps the pathogens out of your body. If the pathogen or the causative agent enter your body, there is another immune system or another organelle of the immune system that will fight the viruses, which is here the defense white blood cells. So the white blood cells, specialized cells to fight pathogens, okay? We have two types of white blood cells, either T cells or B cells. Let's start with the B cells. The B cells are normally more important for fighting viruses. Once a virus has entered your body, your B cells produce proteins called antibodies. So there is proteins called antibodies that will remember the virus and fight it off if the same virus enters your body again. So this means that you normally never get the same viral infection twice. So again, the B cells are more important for fighting viruses, and it will produce antibodies that it will recover or remember the same virus if it's enter your body. Why do people have more than one cold or the flu more than once? Sometimes we will get the flu many times. Then why we will have the flu many times? Because these viruses mutate quickly, so your body doesn't recognize them as the same thing. So again, any virus that will mutate quickly, your body will not recognize it again because it changed its structure. So there are more than 200 strains of the common cold or the flu. Have you ever heard with the vaccine word? What we mean by vaccine? Vaccines are substances prepared from inactive or weak virus. So either we will inactive the virus by heat inactivation, or weaken the virus, or even sometimes we will kill the virus and then we will inject it inside your body again. So again, vaccines are substances that prepared from inactive or weak viruses that cause your body to react and produce antibodies without making you sick. So the vaccine is a very important thing for our lives. Let's start with an examples on the viruses. The HIV virus. The HIV virus will cause the AIDS. Is in a class of the viruses called retroviruses. So again, the AIDS caused by HIV virus, and the HIV virus is from the retroviruses family. These viruses have RNA or DNA. What do you think? It's RNA as their nucleic acid. So the retroviruses are made up from RNA and proteins. How the retroviruses reproduce? Do you know how the retroviruses reproduce? So the retroviruses have a way to convert the RNA into DNA. Then the DNA is copied by the cells. They invade. So this is the reproduction way of the retrovirus that's contain the RNA. This is the structure of the HIV, which is one of the retroviruses. As you can see, this is the RNA here, and this is the protein coat of the HIV virus. Your body will be attacked by the HIV, and it will attack particularly T cells. Again, the T cells, one of the immune system defense organelles. So, virus docks by matching receptor shaped on the host cell. This is the host cell, and the HIV have a receptor, okay? This receptor will be fitting the host cell surface. Okay, again, this is the receptor here, and the HIV docks will match the receptor of the host cell. Again, this docks will fit the antibodies. Sometimes there is an antibodies will fit the virus, and this antibody will block the ducts of the virus, so it will not infect the host cell. Again, because HIV mutates very quickly, so it's difficult to cure. Why? AIDS is difficult to cure because the HIV, which is the causes for the AIDS, mutate very quickly. Make sure that you will understand this information and remember it, okay? That's good. Thank you and have a nice day.